Welcome back. Well, I had something entirely different planned for today. But as you can see, fate stepped in and we have yet another unboxing. This time it's a surprise unboxing. So stick around, we'll get to it. Well, this set of packages came to me from Karen Hopper. And we all know Karen. She is the jewelry repurposer who has done some of our loveliest giveaways, some of the most popular. And I'm going to dig around and see how many pictures I have of some of the things that she's provided for giveaways. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but I've definitely got pictures. And so Karen has sent boxes. And when I saw the first box, let me show you this. Let's see if you can see this. Box 1. That immediately told me to be on the lookout for, that's right, box 2. So we have 2 boxes. I haven't looked into them. I've just cut them open with my sharp little knife, which I like to do off camera. As you can see, all my fingers, it worked out well. But I do have this fear that one of these days, I'm just not going to be quite as careful as I ought to be. And I just as soon do my bleeding off camera. So let's take a look at what we have. And the first thing we have is a note. So let's see if we can read that. It's a thank you note. Okay, let me just point out, Karen is the one who sends me stuff, so I'm a little confused about what she's thanking me for, because frankly, we all ought to be sending her thank you notes because of those beautiful giveaways, but me especially, because she's done so much for everybody, and I'm so grateful. So let's take a look. Dear Sue, I hope you can use the plates for your Tidbit, plates for Tidbit trays. Whoa! All right. Please sell anything that is appropriate for your shop. The teapot and sugar bowl. Teapot and sugar bowl. All right. Teapot and sugar bowl might make a good project, as the teapot needs a touch-up to, I don't know what, to the hat? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that is, but it's something. And the sugar bowl, I put it in at the last minute. Could not bear to throw it away. Has a chip on the rim. We can fix chips. We've done that before, and it's been a while since we've done a porcelain repair video. So, oh my, yes. See, she's thanking me, and she's giving me my next batch of videos. What's wrong with this picture? Got this box of items when I was picking up some estate jewelry. Well, that figures. And they were going to be tossed out. Oh my. I just knew the person who could use them. Already said, please use everything you deem fit. I hope you have a wonderful day. Happy quarantine. Karen, I hope everything arrived in one piece. So is that sweet or what? So let's get to it. We've got plates. We've got teapots. I'm excited. All right. Now, Audie is in back sleeping on my bed. He came in. He went out early. He does a little afternoon outie. And as nearly all of you know, Audie was a stray cat, so keeping him in the house is next to impossible. So he and I negotiated 2 outies a day. His first one is usually at 5:30, 6 o'clock, and even though I will give him up to 2 hours, he rarely takes it. He's usually back in about 20 minutes, which is excellent because nobody's out on the streets at that hour, and I don't like him out when people are out. And then we have another outie in the early afternoon. And today he wanted his little outie a little early. He went out at noon. He was back by 1. Sleeping on the front steps, wouldn't come in. I had to go out and pick him up. He likes to be carried in sometimes. He'll just sit there and it's like, no, pick me up and take me in. And then, of course, he wanted to cuddle because when he's out sleeping on the steps, that means he's been left out too long. And I should have known that he was sleeping out there, and I should have gone out and gotten him sooner. And then he's unhappy because I abandoned him out on the steps. So now he's sleeping. Cats are beyond bizarre. So let's see what we have. Oh, the reason I brought up Audie in the first place, goodness, I'm not sure if I'm just excited because of the plates or this is, senility. Audie likes to jump around. He had already examined these boxes very carefully, sniffing at everything, and I would just as soon he not just get into the middle of this because sharp knives, cat tails, they're just not a good combination. So let's see what we got. Lusterware. We have a peach lusterware lid. Oh my, let's take a look at this. This is a beautiful sugar bowl. It has a very traditional Japanese design. This little, it's like a hut out on the edge of a pier. And then we have the little floral on either side, peach and blue lusterware. Now, let's see where we allegedly have it. Yes, we do. We have a little tiny chip here. And we are going to do a video on how to repair this because this is, in fact, one of the easiest kinds of chips to repair. This is probably less than 5 minutes work, and because it's on the white section, it won't even need to be painted. So, fabulous. We have our project, and as you can see, it's a beautiful piece. So once it's done, it's really going to be nice. Okay. All right, here we go. Okay, we've got another lid. Oh, another lid. Lusterware. And this is our matching teapot, and it's got a lock lid. Lids like this are very easy to use. You just pop the little tab inside before you set them down, and then the lid doesn't fall out when you, well, here, turn it 45 degrees. It doesn't fall out when you pour the tea. Well, unless you turn it upside down, which I was doing. It's beautiful. It matches the sugar bowl. It is lovely. This is the sort of thing that, in fact, I think is great to use along with Orphaned creamers as little watering containers. Really, really nice. But obviously, it can be used as a teapot, too. Now, let's see. You know, sometimes I think it would be much better if I just opened all of this in advance so that you didn't have to wait while I was fighting my way through the plastic. But very exciting nonetheless. Oh, this is a beautiful little orphaned creamer. It's taller than most. Now that, like the other pieces, is Japanese lusterware. Japanese lusterware, and we've discussed this before, the classic colors are this blue color, this peach color, and then of course the embellishments. Now you can see from this, we've got the peach and blue, and here, let me get the boxes out of the way a little. If you take a look, the peach and the blue are the same color. They're usually very good matches straight through. So if you have a piece like this and you have a set of plain cups in blue, peach and blue, peach, white, blue and white, etc., you can match up a tea service. Now, for my own part, I don't see anything wrong with mixing and matching lusterware. And we've talked about this. One of the things I'm going to have to do is I am going to have to bring out my rose medallion china. It is just mix and match. Very old pieces, relatively recent pieces, all kinds of rose medallion. If you look at it, it's nothing but a sea of color and images. I have rose canton mixed in with the rose medallion. I have rose mandarin mixed in with it. I also have some famille rose pieces, some really beautiful famille rose pieces. I am not a stickler for like a boxed match set. I was raised with that in the 50s and 60s, going, I'm thinking right through to the 70s. That was the only thing that counted. Everything must match. If you have a cup, you need the matching saucer. If you have the cup and saucer, you need the matching dinner plate. Everything had to be a set. And that just wasn't the way I wanted things myself. I guess I'm a little too boho for that. But I still, to this day, do not understand why, even though I've seen people do this for generations with rose medallion. When I was a child, looking at my grandmother's friend's rose medallion service, I would see that the pieces were mismatched. Never bothered me, never bothered them. And these were like the most elegant ladies in the Back Bay section of Boston, la la la. They weren't troubled by it. So why would I be? But even though I've seen that, I don't see as much of it now as you would think that I would. I don't see mismated china. And frankly, I think very little is quite as beautiful as a collection that's been pieced together, one or two pieces at a time by hand with love. So, I don't know, what can I say? If you have little bits and pieces of china, if you love it, put it on your table and don't think that you're not supposed to just because the pieces don't match up. I think sometimes we really limit ourselves unnecessarily. And it was, in fact, back in the 70s. Okay, well, looks like we have had our first problem. And we had some breakage. Really unfortunate. This is Japanese. It's beautiful. Moyayuma. Yeah. This was a beautiful cream soup bowl. And its little bits of handle are right here. Definitely too bad. And sadly, its friend, there we go, its friend has fared even worse. Okay, well, this is an oops. I'm going to set it aside. And, you know, that's always sort of heartbreaking when something like that happens. Things survive for so long, and then just a little tiny upset, and they're gone. And that's unfortunate because those were very, very pretty pieces. So I'm so sorry, Karen. Now, let's see. Whoa, this is beautiful. I'm going to have to take a close look at this. There is a name carved into the bottom. This is beautiful. This is just a lovely piece of vase with a squirrel. It's gilded. The gilding's in beautiful condition. No wear. Just lovely. That is wonderful. It's just a nice little good luck squirrel. We all know squirrels are good luck, right? That's not just me. Everybody thinks so. Yes? I hope so. All right. TT, double T's in diamonds. What is that? Takeda, I believe. Two T's. It's the Takeda company. I know that's unusual. In the U.S., we would never do that. We would never put a separate T in for the portion. But of course, this was a Japanese company. And I do believe that's what the double T was for, the Takeda. It's TT. And it's TT, two T's in diamonds. One of the popular Japanese companies. This would have been, I want to say 1898. Very close to the turn of the century. I'm thinking 1898. Right up until the war. So this is first half of 20th century. That's how I'm going to put it, so I'll be safe. This is beautiful. It's the typical Noritake pattern. We've got our windmill, our tree, and our little swan. Beautiful, beautiful dish. Tiny little holes here. Can you see the little itty bitty holes? They are like handles here. Very, very lovely. And let's see what his friend is. Okay. Okay. All right, let's slide this. Box is empty now. You got to know this is not going anywhere. Karen, thank you. I love this. I'm keeping it. It's not leaving. No, no, no. This is a really interesting rose medallion piece. I'm going to research the mark, see how old it is. This is not a new piece. It's really lovely. Just honestly, really lovely. And as I was just saying, coincidentally, I think the Rose Medallion gods heard me. My China service is wildly eclectic, all kinds of different types of pieces of Rose Medallion. And this is a beautiful, small-sized platter or chop plate. And that is going into my China service. And it's wonderful because it's going to give me a keepsake from Karen, and that pleases me greatly. But, you know, this is gorgeous. It's not going anywhere. Sorry. And while I'm working on the other box here, let me discuss something that I get a lot of questions about. And that is it safe to eat on pieces like this? Yes. People get the idea that it might not be because there is often lead content in some of the glazes, heavy metals. We've already discussed in our lusterware video, we've already discussed the fact that the luster or lusterware comes from the fact that there's metal in the glaze. But the glazes are fired on at really high temperatures. They're not leaching out of this china anytime soon. And whatever leaching they might have done, they've had more than 100 years to do it, so it's not an issue. I would not feed a baby off a plate like this. The reason for that is only an overabundance of caution. With small children, I think, yeah, don't take a risk, even if it's a minimal risk, even if it's a virtually non-existent risk. Just don't do it. But would I have a problem? No. Generations of Chinese people ate their dinner off that plate, and no reason to suspect anything untoward. If there were problems with eating off vintage china, well, first of all, it would be all over the internet. We would all be keenly aware of it. There would be lists of manufacturers out there. You could go to, a National Institute for Health website and pull up lists, and they would say, Spode is okay, Haviland is not, etc., etc. Oh, by the way, I don't know if that's so, and I don't believe there's anything wrong with either Spode or Haviland. But you would be able to go and get lists of safe and unsafe china manufacturers. It's not like we would be left high and dry to wonder. Perhaps that might have been true 50, 60, 80 years ago, before the average person was collecting antique and vintage diningware products. But now with everyone doing it, no, of course, people would be making sure everyone is aware of it. But as I say, having said that, don't put the baby's oatmeal on old dishes. I don't care if it's china from China. I don't care if it's grandmother's china. Don't feed your baby on Melmac. Don't feed your baby on plastic. You go out, you get some nice clean glass. Personally, I like mason jars because you can sterilize the daylights out of those buggers without any problem at all. And they come with little caps so that you can store the remains. But yeah, that's how I would do it. I would feed the baby off glass. If you want to feed the baby with a little spoon, which of course I would suggest you do, again, I would go for something like silver, where you're very clear about what the content of the metal is. I would not go for anything that might be plated, that might have a finish. Rhodium, I think rhodium was the finish they were using. I don't think they've used it recently, but I do think they were using it some years ago. I wouldn't go with silver plate because you just don't know how it's going on there. But that's just the fact that babies are entitled to an overabundance of caution, because with their little tiny developing brains and bodies, sometimes very small things go wrong and have very major impacts. So that's my 50 cents worth on old dishes. Do I have a problem? You know, but am I going to feed your grandkids on it? No, of course not. You know, really. All right. Another note. I forgot to tell you there were 2 boxes. Yes, no problem. I got this. 2 boxes. Happy quarantine. My contact. Okay, she says she lives with 3 people, and she knows I live alone. So she's left me her contact information in case I need someone to talk to, which is just so sweet. My goodness. You know, people say that. What is happening now is we are seeing the best in people. In some cases, with some of the hoarders and the profiteers, you know, the people who are selling toilet paper for $40 a roll and sanitizer, whatever, we are seeing the bad stuff. But you know what? We're seeing the good stuff too. Isn't this great? I mean, it really is. Oh, but nobody has anything to worry about with me because, as I said, Jocelyn visits regularly, and even if she didn't, I've still got Audie, and Audie is wonderful company. He's very articulate in his own way, a little hard to understand, but, you know, he makes his point. All right, let's see what we have here. Here's round. Okay. Well, and we're going to have to check and see if there is a lid in here. If there is a lid in here, we have a ginger jar. If there's not a lid in here, you know what we have? Yep, we've got a lamp. Isn't this beautiful? This is very nice. This is an Imari style. Really beautiful. From the looks of the mark, it's not old. Vintage, but not old. But lovely. And this, we are going to have to see. That would make a gorgeous, gorgeous lamp. So, despite the fact that it's wrong to hope that it doesn't have a lid, you gotta know I'm hoping it doesn't have a lid. I'm hoping we have a lamp project. Oh, this is beautiful. This is a little Lilies of the Valley lid, and now let's see what that goes to. Where are you? Okay, there are 2 things in here. Oh, beautiful. salt and pepper shakers. They are lovely, very pale coloring, like little bunches of flowers made in Japan. They've got the Japan sticker, little sort of pale green ribbon. Very nice, very nice. You don't see salt and pepper shakers very often in such pastel colors. Usually the colors are a little stronger, not quite so, pale. That's white and pink. All right, let's take a look at this. This is, Nico. Yes, all right. This is the rest of the Lilies of the Valley piece. Japanese piece. The company is Nico, and we can tell. Let's just see if I can get this. There we go. We can tell from the sticker that this is post-war and pre-1970s. So what we're really looking at is 50s and 60s on a piece like this. Very, very pretty piece. The Lilies of the Valley, gorgeous. And this is just a nice little, well, I'm going to say trinket or potpourri dish. I find dishes like that to be amazingly useful. I like having things available to me. The little flashers I put on Audie's collar, for example. Love having those around. Are you? Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I'm afraid we're not a lamp. We are a ginger jar. Oh, well. Beautiful, beautiful piece. Absolutely lovely. And it's got a lid. Anyway, as I was saying about Audie's flashers, the flashers I put on his collar when he goes out early in the morning and it's not light yet, I always put a flasher on so that he doesn't get hit by cars. He's a black cat, and if I don't put a light on him, how is anyone going to see him? Also, it helps to preserve the local flora and fauna because Audie is a killer cat. And even with all those bells on his collar, he will go out and he will just hunt and kill. So putting a flasher on his collar gives the little mice and voles and whatever at least a fighting chance. So let's take a look at you. Oh yes, Nippon hand painted. Is this amazing or what? This is a beautiful Nippon piece. Karen has an excellent eye in China as well as jewelry. This stuff is just really incredible. It really is. This is just astounding. Let's see. All right. Stay here. We are down to our last little bits. These are too cute. They are not marked. They are likely U.S. made. Fat little chefs. They look like the little Chef Boyardee from the can of SpaghettiOs. Then salt and pepper shakers. Very, very cute. All right, let's see what we got in here. Oh my. Now, is that pretty or what? This is just lovely. It's a beautiful little piece of, this is hard to think of what I would call it. These appear to be polished stones. We have a weighted base that is brass. Looks like India brass. And then we have the little tree, and I'm thinking that this can just be, yes, it can. It can be shaped any way you want it. What a striking little piece. This is so interesting. Now, ordinarily, I don't handle pieces like this. And it's not any reason why. It's not as if it's like, oh my goodness, this is, something I don't want to touch or anything. It's just usually I don't. And I guess we all have our own preferences, the things that reach out and grab us. This is just lovely. But interestingly enough, pretty as that is, it's not something I would have thought of buying. So now I have it. How nice is that? Well, Karen, thank you so much. This is just a just wonderful little vintage haul. I am so sorry about the cream soup bowls. They are just, unfortunately, as you can see from the exterior, they were just beautiful, beautiful pieces. So that was unfortunate. What can you do? All right. We have already gone over what I would consider a reasonable allotment of time for this video. So what I'm going to do is very quickly say goodbye. Audie is choosing a winner for our beautiful little picture frame, coincidentally, by Karen. And we will be able to announce the winner in a couple of days. Well, it depends upon how quickly he gets the name picked. It's hard to say with him. Oh, it's not that he's lazy. He's a good cat. But every now and then it's hard for him to get his little cat button gear. So I am expecting him to choose a winner very soon. I will announce it. I have not heard from the winner of one of our rose medallion necklace giveaways. So as soon as we announce the winner of Karen's beautiful picture frame, I am going to start the rose medallion giveaways concurrently with some of our giveaways from Dinky Loves Soap, and see about getting those rolling, because hey, we're all at home, and who doesn't need soap right about now? All right. Thank you all so much. Karen, thank you. This is just beautiful. I will see you all tomorrow.